If you're watching this, I hope you find the reason you're still here. That was the note found beside a broken phone on a park bench. Its screen cracked, its battery dead, but the message somehow still echoing through the cold morning air. A jogger had found it, paused, read the note, and felt a shiver climb his spine. It was as if the phone, the bench, the quiet city park, were all whispering the same thing: listen. But this story isn't about the jogger. It's about the man who left the note. Eli. Eli had always lived life like a checklist. Graduate. Get a job. Buy a car. Fall in love. Get married. Have kids. Retire. He was on track, too. A good job in finance, a girlfriend who loved him, a family that was proud of his success. But there was one small problem. Eli couldn't remember the last time he felt something. Not joy. Not excitement. Not even sadness. Just nothing. Like walking through fog. He would wake up, go to work, come home, smile when expected, and repeat. Every day. Over and over. His girlfriend, Lila, noticed. She asked questions. She made him laugh. She even planned a surprise weekend trip to the mountains. But nothing reached him, not really. The fog was always there. One rainy evening, Eli stood by his apartment window, staring at the wet streets below. A question he had buried deep inside came rising up, heavy and sharp. What's the point of all this? It was terrifying. Because he didn't have an answer. The breaking point came on a Wednesday. Eli missed a presentation at work, not because he overslept, but because he forgot it mattered. His boss shouted. His coworkers stared. Eli just blinked. That night, he left his apartment with no plan. Just his phone and a backpack. He wandered the city for hours, eventually ending up in a quiet park just before dawn. That's when he wrote the note. If you're watching this, I hope you find the reason you're still here. Then he turned off his phone, set it on the bench, and walked into the fog. What happened next wasn't a miracle. There was no bolt of lightning. No voice from the sky. Just a quiet town, a train ride, and a broken man with no destination. He ended up in a village miles away. Cold, tired, and unsure what to do, Eli wandered into a small bookstore cafe. The owner, an older woman named Miriam, took one look at him and simply said, "You look like you need a cup of tea and a quiet place to sit." She didn't ask questions. She just gave him tea, pointed to a worn-out chair by the window, and let him be. Eli came back the next day. And the day after that. He didn't talk much. He didn't read. He just sat. Miriam didn't push. She just kept giving him tea. One afternoon, a little boy named Sam ran into the cafe with his mother, clutching a worn-out book. The boy was frustrated, he was learning to read and kept getting stuck. His mother, tired and flustered, sighed and said, "Maybe tomorrow, Sam." For reasons Eli didn't understand, he spoke up. "I can help, if that's okay." That day, Eli read with Sam for 20 minutes. The boy laughed at a joke in the story. His mother smiled, thanked him, and left. Eli came back the next day, hoping to see Sam again. He did. They read. And again the next day. Over the next few weeks, Eli began reading with more kids who stopped by. He started fixing up old books in the store. He even helped Miriam organize a story hour on Saturdays. The fog began to lift slowly. There were still gray days. But now, there were also moments of color. Laughter. Curiosity. Connection. One evening, as Eli was closing up the cafe with Miriam, she said, "You know, when you first walked in, I thought you were lost." "I was," Eli said. "And now?" she asked. Eli looked around the bookstore. The shelves, the notes left by kids, the photos from Story Hour. He thought about Sam, who now proudly read chapter books, and about the quiet woman who had simply given him tea in silence. "I think I'm learning how to be found." Eli never went back to his old job. He started a community reading program, partnered with local schools, and eventually opened his own small reading center. Not to make money, not to impress anyone, but because he had discovered something he had never learned in all his years of chasing success. Purpose doesn't always look like a title or a paycheck. Sometimes, it looks like a 7-year-old smiling because he finally read a whole page on his own. Years later, Eli found himself on another park bench, this time in that same city where he had once left his phone. He sat beside a teenager who looked just like he had back then, tired eyes, unsure hands, lost. Eli handed him a book and said with a small smile, "This helped me once. Maybe it can help you too." So what is the purpose of life? It's not something we find once and keep forever. It's something we build, slowly, through connection, kindness, and choosing to show up, especially when it's hardest. And maybe, just maybe, our greatest purpose is to help someone else find theirs.